Do your ribs rock? Like slap your daddy rock? Rock's Famous Barbecue across from Baptist Hospital on South Memorial Drive in Prattville has the most amazing barbecue in the region. And the service is almost as good as the amazing food. Check out the menu online at rocksfamousbbq.com. Phone 224-8903 for takeout or dine in. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. If your barbecue pork and chicken ain't rocking, you ain't been to Rock's Famous Barbecue. South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the River region has depended on Aero Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon termite colony elimination system. Aero Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still number one today. Call us 334-365-4610 and find out about mosquito control. Aero, your best shot for pest control.
Before you buy your next new vehicle, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
For the best prices on pre-owned vehicles, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
I'm Brad at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. To find your next car, truck, or SUV, visit us at LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
For the best prices and huge inventory, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Be sure to like our Larry Puckett Chevrolet Facebook page. Who knows, you could be our next winner.
Save time and save money at LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish. Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish.
I only use U.S. farm-raised catfish.
We've been selling U.S. farm-raised catfish since 1978.
They do have a choice for a good, wholesome, safe fish. We know it's a good product.
Ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish, only the finest, freshest, tastiest. You can taste the difference.
From our farm to your table, your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
Prattville. Dixie Country and Prattville Alive invite you to join us now for a preview of this week's Prattville Lions football game. It's the Coach J.B. Wallace Show, coming to you live from Rock's Famous Barbecue in Prattville. Tonight's show is powered by Larry Puckett Chevrolet, by Durbin Auto Parts, Prattville Outdoors, Aero Pest Control, and by Buffalo Rock Pepsi. Now, let's go live to Rock's Famous Barbecue for tonight's Coach J.B. Wallace Show.
All right, welcome Lions fans to the another week of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're coming to you live from Rock's Famous Barbecue at 307 North Memorial Drive in Prattville. Some of the best barbecue you're going to find around. So we'd invite you. We've already got a few fans hanging out. We would invite you to come join us if you're out and about. I can't think of anything better than to enjoy dinner, some football discussion, and then wash it all down with some Buffalo Rock Pepsi. Well, I'm joined, as always, by the man the show is named after, the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Coach Wallace, how you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Good to see you this evening. Well, Coach, let's just jump right in. Last week was kind of a weird circumstance where usually high school football is on Fridays, and it didn't happen on Friday last week.
Right.
Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, it was a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
We were expecting some inclement weather coming in on Friday. And a lot of schools were changing games from Friday to Thursday, and we were kind of watching it. And Mr. Ferris and Dr. Ferris and Coach Mitchell, they were in touch with EMA, and we were trying to get some estimates on percentage of thunderstorms and all that, trying to make some decisions to keep our kids out of harm's way. And we ended up changing the game to Thursday. So when you do that, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of communication. Yes, sir. So, we had to make sure Dothan could do it.
Right.
And they had to check with their transportation and all that and their administration. And so, officials and so forth and so on. So we had to make a change to Thursday.
A lot of dominoes that had to fall.
That's right.
And then you lose a day of practice, I guess, so to speak, too, because everything moves up a day.
Right. You lose that day, and it's more of a mental day.
Sure.
So I realistically, I feel like if you're not ready on Thursday, you're not ready.
Sure.
So Thursday is a day that you kind of can brush up on what you worked on and all that. So I mean that part of it, with that difficult style of offense that they played, I felt good about where we were at that time of the week, and it was the best thing to do for the kids. So whether we were ready or not, I mean, you definitely don't want to put the kids in harm's way.
Of course. Well, all right, so let's do this then. Let's put stick a pin in last week's game because of the game getting moved to Thursday last week. We didn't get together for a radio show last week because you were busy coaching a ball game.
That's right.
So let's just touch back a couple of weeks ago, the journey to Smith Station. Give us a little rundown of that game and some standouts, that kind of thing from 2 weeks ago.
Gotcha. Well, we're on the road, and of course we stopped midway through to get us a walkthrough in, and then I want to thank Russell County High School for allowing us to use their facility to walk through. That's where we did our pregame routine and all that at Russell County High School, and they turned around and used our facilities because they were playing Stanhope, so we just swapped locker rooms.
Cool how that worked
for a little bit, and so definitely want to thank them. But we got there and got to learn how to travel on the road and all those things with this group, and we had a real good trip. We got there and at first started off on fire. Made some huge plays offensively, defensively, had some penalties and some things called back on us. With the luck of the draw for us, I mean, it was 21 for sure points that we left on the table because of flags or whatever. Mario Parks had a good game. I think he was at the point where he rushed for 100 yards probably in the first quarter.
How about that?
But one got called back.
Okay.
And a huge run that he had. I think it was
60-something yards, I believe.
Yeah, something like 60-something yards. Yeah. And I think he scored the 65 yards.
That's what it was.
But he broke one for around 50-ish,
yes.
And that was the one that got called back.
Yeah.
But he had a huge night. The offensive line, I feel like, took a step forward that night. Making some things happen in the trenches. Reestablishing the line of scrimmage. And at the end of the day, we played solid special teams. We gave up a kick return for a touchdown, and that's something that we don't want to do.
Right.
So we definitely had to go back and revamp that and get some things fixed. And we talked a few weeks ago about the Colin Rogers effect.
Mm-hmm.
When he's kicking touchbacks for a whole year.
They had a year off last year.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're back to reality. And don't get me wrong, Reed Montgomery put some in the end zone. He put two in the end zone last week, and strong leg and doing a good job there. But ultimately, penalties and big plays that we were taken out of. We had 3 opportunities to score defensively that game. We had a pick 6 that was called back, and we had 2 fumble recoveries that didn't bounce our way. They were either down or whatever the case was. So you're looking at 21 points. Defensively, and then plus the long run with Mario, 28 points, and then you just got to overcome those adversities.
Sure. And something you mentioned just a minute ago, and I love it. And there's a lot of things. I mean, you're teaching the kids football, but you're teaching the guys also kind of toughness, facing adversity, that kind of thing. And I love y'all's team shirt for game day this year is that 1% on the back. Right. Speak to that a little bit. We've talked about that idea, but just every day improve 1%. 1% every day.
Right, and if you're getting better. All right, you're improving yourself. And,
right.
And, Rome wasn't built overnight, and you can't eat an elephant in one bite.
Right.
But if you get 1% and you just stack it up over time, before you know it, you're 30% better, you're 50% better. And if you do it long enough, you're a different player. Yeah. And we got some kids on our roster right now that I think have taken note of that, and they are different players now than they were a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to keep swinging.
That's right.
You got to keep swinging.
That's right. And I see so much progress and so much growth. Y'all are doing a great job. So that gets us up to this past week when we kind of set it up where it had to get moved up one day, moved to Thursday. So run down last Thursday's ball game against the Dothan Wolves.
Well, we knew we had a limited amount of opportunities offensively that we would take because of that style of offense. It's a very unique style. It's very similar to what Enterprise did last year, kind of, like a Notre Dame box-looking kind of deal.
Well, kind of deception, isn't it? I mean,
it
is. Where's the ball?
There's a lot
of
people going
yeah.
And it plays tricks with your eyes. So, when you teach your defensive guys to read a key, that's what you build your foundation on. And that offense busts a lot of rules that you may – have taught your guys. So it takes a lot of repetition.
Retrain them.
Yeah, retrain them and discipline to trust what you see. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but what did you see? And so we knew it was going to be limited opportunities, and we had to make some things happen when we did get the opportunity. And defense played a strong game. You know, I think 39 rushes. I think they only gave up 60-something yards.
How about that?
Yeah, only gave up 7 points. So played a real good night. Offensively, we started off on fire with the explosive play with Calvin Parker on a screen, and I think that was 44 yards. And you know, Mario and Donovan did a great job running the ball. Offensive line continues to grow, continue to get better. You know, Josh Brody was asked to throw a few passes, and he delivered like we wanted him to deliver. You know, Cam Shanks was involved. We spread the ball around well again. So, you know, it's just at the end of that game, we kind of had a turnover in the fourth quarter. Minute or so left in the game, and he scooped and scored it, and that, you know, that pretty much did it at that point. But, I mean, up until then, we played a very solid game. It was 10-7. You know, I mean, we had the ball in our hands to go in to finish it, and you know, we ended on a turnover, which is something we never want to do.
Right.
That's something that Coach Moncrief and his offensive staff always talk about: ball security, circuits, and working it, and that's just what you believe in. So, but you know, you got to go back to work. You know, and you got to work on the little things like that.
Well, and another, I guess, well, you call it adversity if you want. You know, we moved the game up to Thursday because of weather, and doggone if the lightning didn't come, and you had a delay of a good, 45 minutes or so?
It was 45 minutes to an hour, and we were on a roll. We had the momentum offensively. We were moving the ball. We got it to the 13-yard line. It was a first down. I think we had the perfect play call. When Coach Moncrief called it, you know, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to hit. You know, this is going to hit. And then all of a sudden the referee blow a whistle and said, go inside. And so now that gives them
takes the wind out of your sails.
Oh, yeah. It gives them a chance to revamp some things and change some things up. And, of course, we can too. And we came back after that, and I still think, you know, we kept a similar call on. And they, of course, lined up differently. And I think we still had a great call. You know, we threw the little skinny right there in the end zone, and we dropped it. You know, that could have been 7 points, which make it 17-0 at that point. But, you know, like I said, we just got to capitalize on that.
That's right. Yeah. Well, you know, a couple of tough weeks, but now, you know, we'll talk more about it. But we turn our focus towards this week. We got another team coming to town, Opelika. It'll be a home ball game tonight. Just talk just a little bit about playing at home tomorrow night. What that means being back home one more time before we go on the road for a little while.
Right. Well, you know, we always talk about Stanley's Stadium and what it brings to the table, and it's definitely a great atmosphere. It always is, and it will be this week with Opelika coming in because it always is.
Right.
You know, Opelika is going to travel well.
Yeah.
That game is about a bigger rivalry as any other game you could ever look at in high school football. You know, Prattville and Opelika, and it's been a lot of good ball played between those two schools over the years.
Sure.
And I'm sure that won't change now. So it's going to be a huge opportunity for our guys to kind of get back rolling. You know, kind of get back in the positive category and start working towards, you know, our spot in the region.
That's right. That's right. Well, fans, we thank you for tuning in. Those of you who are listening to us on the radio, Dixie Country 100.1, thanks for being part of the show. We also welcome several of you watching on Facebook, on the Prattville Live Network. If you have any questions or want to reach out, by all means, drop in comments there. We keep an eye on those sometimes. So let us know you're listening if you're out there watching, and we'd love to have that. And, again, if you're listening on the radio, we're right here at Rock's Famous Barbecue at 307 North Memorial Drive. I'm not able to eat anything right now, but doggone, it smells fantastic. So we'd invite you to come eat some barbecue with us. Well, we're going to step away for a short break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Do your ribs rock? Like slap your daddy rock? Rock's Famous Barbecue across from Baptist Hospital on South Memorial Drive in Prattville has the most amazing barbecue in the region. And the service is almost as good as the amazing food. Check out the menu online at rocksfamousbbq.com. Phone 224-8903 for takeout or dine in, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. If your barbecue pork and chicken ain't rocking, you ain't been to Rock's Famous Barbecue, South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the River region has depended on Aero Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. Aero Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still #1 today. Call us, 334-365-4610, and find out about mosquito control. Aero, your best shot for pest control.
Before you buy your next new vehicle, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
For the best prices on pre-owned vehicles, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
I'm Brad at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. To find your next car, truck, or SUV, visit us at LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
For the best prices and huge inventory, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Be sure to like our Larry Puckett Chevrolet Facebook page. Who knows, you could be our next winner.
Save time and save money at LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish. Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish.
I only use U.S. farm-raised catfish.
We've been selling U.S. farm-raised catfish since 1978.
You do have a choice for a good, wholesome, safe fish. We know it's a good product.
Ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish, only the finest, freshest, tastiest. You can taste the difference.
From our farm to your table, your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
Well, Lions fans, there you go. Welcome back, Prattville Lions fans. We are you're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you've tuned in tonight, or watching later on, or watching live on Facebook Live or YouTube, all kinds of ways. We thank those of you listening on Dixie Country 100.1. We've got several fans right here at Rock's Famous Barbecue. If you're out and about, one of our sponsors for the year, we'd love to have you come stop by, enjoy some talk about football, enjoy some good barbecue dinner. Also, thanks to other sponsors, Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Durbin Auto Parts, Aero Pest Control, all those folks that make this show possible. Well, Coach, we talked a little bit about the last couple of weeks and just kind of touched on a little bit about this coming tomorrow night's game, Friday's game. We'll come back to that towards the end of the show. But I'd love to catch folks up on some of your underclassmen and what's going on with football for them right now. Particularly, I'd love to get a little update on the junior varsity program and who they've been playing, who's been standing out, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. Well, we played a JV game Monday versus Robert E. Lee. And, that's something that we always look forward to. Those guys, those JV guys, man, they work hard all week. And, playing on that JV team, they come out and practice right before the game. Yeah. They're practicing with the varsity right before the game, and then we feed them, we get them on the bus, and then they go play a JV game. And to see the growth throughout the year, that's what we look for. And every year there's always a couple of guys that jump off the radar or jump on the radar, and you say we got to get him involved in some varsity reps.
Right.
And, so we found those. We're starting to see some of those guys now. But we played against Robert E. Lee Monday. We won 20-12.
Okay.
Got off to a real good start. I'm starting to see. You notice I keep mentioning the offensive line. I'm starting to see the younger bunch of offensive linemen. They're coming along.
So encouraging.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We were able to run the ball well. Gavin Rigdon, which was the player of the game for the JV game, did a real good job operating the offense.
Yeah.
Offensive line protected him, gave him opportunities to make plays. He threw the ball downfield. He did well. Running back-wise, Jordan Obanigba, which we'll talk about in a little bit as one of the players of the week, but he ran the ball well, very well. So we were proud to see that. And
these names you're naming, mostly sophomores, some juniors?
Yeah,
okay.
mostly sophomores.
Yeah.
Mostly sophomores. And Brody Bowman has been a name that's come up a lot with our offense, and a guy that may be getting some time with the varsity as well if he keeps working hard.
Yeah.
But his name is always coming up in the meetings, and he's progressing every day. He works hard, and he's kind of a silent worker. Don't say much, but balls in the air, he goes and get it.
Yeah.
So just watching him develop from the summer till now, I mean, it hats off to the offensive staff how they've worked with those guys.
And that's one of the neat things or the fantastic things about that junior varsity, and we'll talk about the freshmen in just a minute, those programs, because guys are able to they're working with the varsity in practice, but then they go out and play these games, and you start seeing light bulbs go off of like, hey, I can do that. I can go get that ball, whatever. I mean, that's an important part, I would imagine.
It is. And they're the focus of that point. They're the focal point. They're getting all the attention. They're taking the coaching, and they see those varsity guys do it on Friday, but now it's their opportunity. And the future's bright with those young men.
Sure.
Defensively, our defensive line has been playing well in the JV games. You got Jahari Scott, you got Jay Reed, you got all those guys. You got Sam Cook, who has been making some huge tackles for us in the JV game. So I'm excited to see what the future lies for him. Chris Clarion in the secondary has been playing well. He's developed a lot since the summer. I'm loving what he's bringing to the table, and he competes every day.
That's awesome.
And that's what you want to see from the secondary.
Yeah, and it gets contagious too when guys come out like
that.
It
does. It gets contagious. And I tell you a name that that came up with in the defensive staff as well is Gavin Underwood. He's been doing some real good stuff in the secondary. He plays safety for us, and he's been showing up and making plays. So
now I've heard him say he thinks he's the best looking guy on the team. Any comment on that? No, his dad's probably watching. That's why I said that. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, if he feels that way, I'm gonna back him 100% if he feels that way.
That's funny. Well, that gets us up to speed on the JV, and thanks for naming some of those guys and letting them, tell us a little bit about them. Well, there's a group that you got before they step up to university. That being the freshmen. I mean,
right.
What are you seeing out there? How are those guys doing? How's that coming along?
Well, they're 2-0 going into the season. They beat Shelby County first week, and they beat Opelika this week. So a very talented bunch. They're rich with talent in that group. Coachable kids, and that's the first thing that I noticed about them when we start bringing them over in the spring. They're coachable and they want to learn, they want to be coached, and that's what you want from a group. You want them to be hungry to be coached, and but man, they're making explosive plays offensively. They got guys around that can go up and get it, and they compete. And they're a good-sized bunch. There's some nice-looking kids in that group. And
you've got a guy that's been a head coach at the varsity level leading the way with them, too, in Coach McLean.
Right.
So that's got to be a good fit.
Yeah, so they're getting next-level coaching with Coach McLean, and he's doing a great job, and his staff is doing a great job getting those guys prepared for Monday nights.
Yeah. We still got a few more minutes left in this segment, Coach. Another opportunity that fans, one of the things you do great, you are available to the community. You do shows like this. There's another one that I want to make sure people know about. Each weekend, y'all you and Will Barrett and the Millser do a show, the Prattville Lions Football Review Show, some neat components of that show. Talk to us a little bit about that show and what it consists of, and just the value of having stuff like that out there for people to see.
Right. Well, we go over and we kind of comb through the previous game and we talk about that a little bit and review it. But one of the highlights of my day when we do that, and that usually comes out on Sunday. And one of the highlights of my Sunday is when we do Inside the Lions Cage.
That is fun.
Yeah, it's great, man. To be able to get those guys, because a lot of times you only see them with helmets on.
Right.
So.
And you get to see them with everything peeled back, like answering questions,
correct.
telling about what
and
music they like,
whatever. 100 miles an hour. So that's one of the highlights of that review show, the Inside the Lions Cage. But I mean, tune into that and find out what went on, some of the details about the previous game and all that. It's a great opportunity to do so.
And another important thing that happens on that show, we're going to recognize the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Game from 2 weeks worth, actually.
Correct.
But that gets announced. The initial time that comes out is on that show.
Right. We announce it on that show. The coaches, I let the coaches, we vote on it. They cast a vote on the player that had an impact on the game, a dynamic impact on the game, and we named that Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Game at that moment. So
yeah. Now, there's a rumor that I think the broadcast team got a vote, and I think Chip Powell messed it up for everybody, and they don't get to vote anymore. Is that true? No, I'm just picking on Chip. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say that, but we do need to get Chip on the show to do a little poetry for us.
Yeah, I'll put some clarification to that.
Yeah, I was kidding, but I love it. I think there's a story coming.
One night, all us old eyes up in the booth, we were spotting the wrong number and we were calling the wrong name, and we gave the wrong player of the game to somebody that only played one play the whole game.
How about that?
So after that, Coach Ross took it away from us. So we've been going like this ever since.
I didn't know how much truth I was stumbling upon there, Coach Wallace. I'm telling you. So, okay. Well, that's an interesting tidbit. Thank you, Millser, for letting us know that. So it was Chip's fault. All right. Well, let's squeeze out just a little bit. We're going to have one of your coaches on in a minute, but I know when you get to the head coach level, it's fun to, you're coaching those kids, but you're also developing coaches. Talk to us a little bit about the coaching staff and how you're seeing growth there as well.
Well, first thing, you got to surround yourself around guys that have a vision and guys that can see where you want the program to go.
Yeah.
And I think, man, we've done a good job. We were able to get the right coaches on the staff that can get us where we need to be as a program. But, just like we see players develop, man, you see coaches develop. And,
sure.
Man, just I'm telling you, I'm personally blessed to have the staff we have because, they can kind of see through the forest and they handle things as they come.
Yeah.
So, like one of the coaches we're having on here tonight, Coach Moncrief, he doesn't just handle the offense, but, I mean, he handles stuff from video, from I saw him out there on the lawnmower, getting that done yesterday. And same with Coach Lee, our other coordinator, just the stuff that they're able to handle, that they see coming. And a lot of it don't even get to my table, because they've already handled it.
Right.
So, that lets you know that those guys are kind of, not far from being a head coach themselves. And they'll know exactly, the things they want done when they get the opportunity to do so.
Right, that's fantastic, and you see that growth, and that's important. And that's part of developing a fantastic program. It's not just about the players, it's about the coaches, because as the coaches get better, in theory, that's going to make the players better too. We just got another couple of minutes on this segment. Coach, one other thing, let's talk about sponsors just a little bit, what that means to the program, because a lot of stuff that happens, it can't happen without them.
Right, well, definitely a 7A program. It takes money to run a 7A program.
Right.
And I'm so thankful for all of our sponsors for coming in and being a part of our program to help us, to get the equipment that we need and to be able to travel like we should travel. I say if you want to play the best, you got to put your kids in the best, and you got to put them around the best.
Right.
And our sponsors definitely do so. They definitely come through and they paved the way for us to get a lot of things that we need as a program.
Yeah, and we mentioned just a few that sponsor this show, and there's others that, if you come to a home game and you look at the back of the end zone, there's A-frame signs over, all kinds of businesses that have stepped up to support the program. And,
right.
I know from a head coach standpoint, you're so thankful for that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, fans, we thank you so much for tuning in. We're about to go to a break in just a little bit, but we want to thank you for tuning in. I want to remind you, it's not too late. I'm not going to lie, Coach. I'm going to try to get some food ordered here in this next break and see if I can have something out here for the break after that.
Yes, sir.
But Rox has some some fantastic barbecue. My favorite's the cheese curds. I don't know and the corn nuggets are my two favorites.
I can't get past the wings.
Well, no, come on. I have had the wings one time before. I may have to get that.
Past them.
No, look, if we talk loud enough, you think Rock will just bring some stuff to us?
Maybe he will. I say it every time I come, I'm going to try something different. But I can't get past the wings.
Well, that's me. I always get the barbecue plate and then the cheese curds and the corn nuggets. So anyway, well, fans, we thank you. Those of you who are listening to us on the radio, if you're out and about, come join us. We're here at 307 North Memorial at Rock's Famous Barbecue. Also, we want to thank those of you who are watching us on via the internet, watching live, or watching later for that matter through the Prattville Alive Network. Thanks for the folks over there. Again, you're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
You fired up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
Hun, those ribs ready?
No. Ribs, better with Pepsi.
It's a long pass down the amazing aisles at Prattville Pickers. It's a great catch on thousands of incredible treasures. It's the biggest lineup of rustic wood furniture at the Depot Furniture Gallery. It's the national champion of antiques, collectibles, treasures. The Depot Furniture Gallery at Prattville Pickers. A winning combination for home, lifestyle, and recreation. Don't let the game clock run out before you make the winning catch at Prattville Pickers. Highway 82 West. Shop PrattvillePickers.com and Facebook.
All right, welcome back, fans, to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Yeah. The crowd is growing and getting louder, but folks, there's still room for you. So come be a part of the JB Wallace Show tonight. I am your host, Chris Britton. Thanks for tuning in tonight on Dixie Country 100.1. And also those of you who are watching the show on the Prattville Alive Network or through YouTube, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Well, Coach, we about the middle of the show each week, we do some awards. The main one being the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Game Award. Now, we have 2 of those to catch up for this week. Why don't you talk a little bit about, I believe, the recipient from this past week?
Well, the recipient from this past week is Sam Payne. He plays linebacker for us and does a great job at it. And one thing about him, when you look at his film, consistency with him, he's going to make his plays every week. He's going to read his keys. He's very disciplined, very physical linebacker. He's a Prattville linebacker is what he is.
Right.
And Prattville's known for something. You know, they're known for linebackers, and he's one of them.
It was funny I was at a volleyball tournament a couple of weeks ago. His girlfriend was playing at it, so he was down there, and Tice came with him, and I was talking to them a little bit between matches, and I said, you know, the thing about you two in the middle of the backfield there, y'all are a little bit crazy, and they just grinned. I said, y'all like to hit people more than most, and they were like, yeah, we kind of do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's definitely a striker. He's what you call a striker. But man, played a very solid game Thursday night, you know, especially versus that style of offense. I mean, we asked him to be physical between the tackles. I mean, he had that much space, literally, he had to work in that night, and a lot of stuff going on in that space, and he had to decipher it and, had to stick his face in it and make a play.
Yeah.
And he did well at that. And on the side of that, you know, he's a leader.
Yeah.
And he's the type of guy that you could build your defense on, you could build your team on, because he's got those leadership qualities.
Fantastic. Well, Sam, with that, man, congratulations. Here's the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week plaque. And then also with that comes the Sports Clip MVP treatment. Yeah, you got that. And, Stacey, it feels like there's one other thing that comes along with it, isn't there? Wasn't there one other thing added to it as a burger? Isn't there
that was
another award.
That's another award.
Never mind, man, no burger. I'll take you to McDonald's later. All right, well, let's set that down. Well, let's talk to Sam Payne for just a minute. Sam, all right, obviously, not obviously. What year are you in school, man? Just for the fans. Get it up just a little closer for you there. Hang on one second. All right, now we got you. Go ahead, start over.
I graduated 2023. I'm a senior this year.
Senior this year. Okay, so that means how long have you been playing football, man?
My whole life, as long as I can remember, since I was a baby.
Your mama's here saying since you were 5. So
5.
I think my son Miller played with you, like in one of those early teams. In fact, we called your dad Coach Payne for years. I still want to call him Coach Payne, but I think he doesn't. You know, he's like, I'm just Stewart, whatever, right?
Dad to me, I guess, but also a coach. He's probably my biggest, one of my biggest critiques, but also my biggest supporter. So.
I hear you. And now you come from a big family, man. I mean, what does it mean when your family's out there cheering for you? That important?
It means a lot. You know, you want to do your best always for not only the team, but you know, the people supporting you in the stands, and you know, they're my biggest supporters that I got. So. Just try to do my best.
That's awesome. Well, why don't you take us through last week's performance just a little bit? Okay, hang on. Before you do that, we've actually got to pause for a quick station identification. I almost forgot that.
WDXX Selma Prattville, home of Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Prattville and Puckett, a winning combination.
All right, we're back. So anyway, Sam, I was asking you, why don't you just take us back last week's performance? Talk to us a little bit about that game. If any plays stand out to you, other stuff defensive guys did around you, anything like that. Just talk about last week.
I mean, the whole defense as a whole, we knew we'd have to be assignment sound, that our eyes would be important that week. You know, just reading our keys, and that's something that we pride ourselves on, and that whenever we get to the ball, being physical is something that we have to do. You know, it sounds kind of harsh, but when we talk about tapping the other team out and making them quit as early as possible, putting your foot on their throat and getting them out, and we knew it was going to be a physical game coming in. Really, the whole defense played lights out, played physical that night, and you know, it was just a great game all around.
That's fantastic. All right, so obviously you work next to Tice Cottrey. Who's better looking between you and him?
It's got to be me. Easy,
I like that.
Easy option.
He's got the hair. I mean, he would argue it's him, I think.
I got hair too, you know.
Right.
I started it first.
You got the curls.
I started it first, you know. He didn't used to have long hair, you know.
He's trying to keep up with you.
Yep, he's trying his best.
It makes perfect sense.
It does.
All right, so if Sam Payne is going looking for fast food in the city of Prattville, where's he going?
It depends. It really depends on the time.
Okay.
Right now, probably just McDonald's, easy option. But if a lot of things close, if I'm out late, probably Taco Bell.
Never a bad choice.
Open. Yeah.
Right. That's good. Is it ever your pleasure to go to Chick-fil-A, just out of curiosity? There's a second one coming.
Chick-fil-A for sure, but the line's long.
Well, I've seen your family frequent that place. That's why I ask. Yeah, I spend a lot of time there and see them daily, it feels like.
We go there a lot. I guess we got tired of Subway.
Okay. Oh, hey, how about that? Makes sense. Quick plug for Subway. I like that. All right. So the ladies are texting into the show. They're wanting to know, is Sam Payne available or is he tied down right now?
I'm tied down for sure.
I kind of knew that, but I was just letting you break the news to the ladies that are watching.
I'm locked in for sure.
I hear you. All right, Coach, tell us a little bit more about Sam Payne.
Well, I'll throw this out there about Sam Payne. Every week I think he feels like he has to remind me that he can play quarterback as well. I bet I get that 2 or 3 times a week. And I've probably got that for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
Now the word is from everybody else, they say he can throw it.
Okay.
They say he can throw it now. That's the word that I've heard around. Some of the coaches had mentioned that to me. We play air ball in the off season.
Right.
And I'm thinking somebody allowed him to play quarterback, and now that's what he wants to do.
I'm putting this out there so other teams have to scheme for something else. There might be a trick play that involves Sam Payne at quarterback. I'm not saying the percentage is high. I'm just saying there could be.
Well, I tell you what, probably not this year.
Okay. Now, Sam, you got to help us out. I mean, where do these quarterback stories come from? Is this true? I mean, is there really? I mean, is there a Tom Brady lurking under on that right arm over there?
I mean, I wouldn't compare myself to Tom Brady. I don't think you can compare me to anybody. I'm just Sam Payne. I go out there, can throw the ball.
I like
far, accurate, fast. It's just what I do.
He said it's just what I do.
I hear it all the time. That made his day.
It's just what I do. Well, Sam, anything else you got to give to us, man? Anything that the public needs to know?
Go Lions.
Go Lions. All right. Well, listen, thank you for stopping by tonight. Congratulations on the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week, man.
Thank you so much.
Great job, buddy. All right. Well, Coach, let's look at, let's say, you know what? Why don't you run down for us? We got another Buffalo Rock player to catch in a little while. But before that, we got some other awards that are put out there. You got some other sponsors behind some of them. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah. First, our Student of the Week, that for freshmen, it was Easton Miller this week. He's a 9th grade O-lineman. He was Student of the Week. For the varsity, it's Turner Walker, who's punched for us. So he was the Student of the Week. Our powerhouse, our Soul Revival powerhouse player of the game, which is where you got your burger.
That's it.
Thought from. That was Carmelo Jones. He plays safety for us.
And what constitutes that powerhouse award? What is that?
That's just another player of the game. We have the Buffalo Rock Pepsi player of the game, and then we usually do an offensive and a defensive player of the game, and that's the powerhouse.
Okay.
But defensively, it was Carmelo Jones. Offensively, the offensive line got a little love this week. It was Clayton Bowrider.
Okay.
So he was the player of the game for that. And then our money team player of the game, which is sponsored by Subway, it is Jordan Obanigba, which this is his second time, and he's been running the ball hard for us, which it shows up at the JV game, and Josh Williams, which his name has been going around a lot in the defensive staff room about how much he's developing and things like that.
Let me ask you this, because I know we've talked about it in years past, but Money Team, for those that are listening or watching that don't have an understanding of what the Money Team is, why don't you shed a little light on that for us?
Yeah, our Money Team is basically similar to a scout team, but what we're asking them to do is to be the other team better than the other team.
Right.
So therefore you got to watch film to be the other team.
I've got a quarterback for the other team, by the way.
Okay.
Goes by the name of Sam Payne.
He wants his opportunity. We'll give him a crack at it. Our special teams player of the week was Garrett Wildman.
Okay.
Long snapper. Yeah. Also plays center for us. Did a great job delivering the ball all night, and has done a great job all year. We talked about our JV player of the game Monday. That was Gavin Rigdon. And something to see. We talk about situations and how do you handle yourself in situations. We're up 20-12, and I think we got the ball, and we wanted to run the clock out, and we ran a play, and he pulled it. It was on read. He pulled it out of the back door, and he had every opportunity to step out of bounds. But he did everything he could to stay alive and stay in bounds, and then he eventually went down in bounds, which ultimately ran the clock out. So that was a heads-up play.
Smart.
Because we didn't want to take another snap.
For how old, by the way? What year?
He's a 10th grader.
All right. I mean,
he's a 10th grader.
A little bit of wisdom kind of beyond, or instincts beyond his years,
That's
possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
And for the freshman player of the game was Donovan Brown.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
A lot of awards. And again, you spoke a little bit to it, but sponsors who stand behind some of those awards and offer them to kids. Who all is in there on that? I know you said Soul Revival.
Yeah, we have Soul Revival. We have Subway. We have Fox's Pizza. They sponsor one of our special teams award, and we also tie that one with Milo's.
And a couple of barbershops, aren't there?
Yes, we have Icons. We have
That's
Spot Barbershop, even Tammy's Barbershop. They support our program. So, we have a lot of different places that have came and, poured into our kids.
That's fantastic. And we talked about sponsors and how they help, but I know another organization that's out there that really helps make stuff happen, especially on game – well, not even just on game day, all through the week, but that quarterback club.
Yes.
I mean, speak to the importance of those folks, those parents that get involved and raise money, serve, organize, do all kinds of things.
Well, I tell you, the conversation that you have when you got to change a game from Friday to Thursday, and you have that conversation with the quarterback club, and it's so many moving parts that go on with that, with parking. That's how we generate funds with that. And apparel, I had to throw out apparel. We have Miss Trishonda in the house. She's a member of the quarterback club, and she helps with apparel. But, just making sure that we have stuff for the fans to come out, and if they want to purchase something with Prattville lines on it, they can purchase it with Prattville lines. And make sure you see her this Friday at the game for your apparel. She may have some new shirts and carry on the trailer, so she's ready to go there.
Have to check it out.
Oh yeah, and but the quarterback club, man, they make it work. They make it tick, and even when we go on the road and we feed the guys on the road, the quarterback club handles that. They organize that, and I just mentioned, hey, look, we want to do this, and the quarterback club makes it happen as far as the Gatorades. And when we say that, we're talking about football players, we're talking about managers, we're talking about trainers, we're talking about coaches, the whole shebang.
Well over 100 people.
Well over 100 people, and they make it happen.
That's awesome.
And, so we're very thankful for the quarterback club. I tell you who else I want to thank as well when you think about the operations of a home game, the Lions Club.
Yeah.
The Lions
tickets,
Club.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. They take those tickets from us, take those tickets for us at the south end zone. And, man, very thankful for the Lions Club and everything that they do for our program.
Yeah, a lot of great folks that serve in there and do that. That is a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, fans, we're just about ready to step away for another break. Now, you've got plenty of J.B. Wallace shows still to come, so don't turn that dial just yet. Don't turn your internet feed off. Stay with us. Now, if you're out and about, we would love to have you come swing by and be with us at Rock's Famous Barbecue at 307 North Memorial Drive right here in Prattville. It's not too late. It still smells fantastic. I think I've got some wings coming by your recommendation here in just a minute. I'll share it with you.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you have maybe one. I'm kidding. But we want to thank those of you who are listening on Dixie Country 100.1, also those on the Prattville Alive Network watching us online. Thanks for being a part of the show. Again, you're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back right after this break.
Do your ribs rock? Like slap your daddy rock? Rock's Famous Barbecue across from Baptist Hospital on South Memorial Drive in Prattville has the most amazing barbecue in the region. And the service is almost as good as the amazing food. Check out the menu online at rocksfamousbbq.com. Phone 224-8903 for takeout or dine in, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. If your barbecue pork and chicken ain't rocking, you ain't been to Rock's Famous Barbecue, South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the river region has depended on Aero Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon termite colony elimination system. Aero Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still number one today. Call us 334-365-4610 and find out about mosquito control. Aero, your best shot for pest control.
Before you buy your next new vehicle, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com. For the best prices on pre-owned vehicles, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
I'm Brad at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. To find your next car, truck, or SUV, visit us at LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
For the best prices and huge inventory, visit LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Be sure to like our Larry Puckett Chevrolet Facebook page. Who knows, you could be our next winner.
Save time and save money at LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish. Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish.
I only use U.S. farm-raised catfish.
We've been selling U.S. farm-raised catfish since 1978.
They do have a choice for a good, wholesome, safe fish. We know it's a good product.
Ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish, only the finest, freshest, tastiest. You can taste the difference.
From our farm to your table, your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
Well, welcome back, Prattville Lions fans, Lion Nation. I'm telling you what, the fans are growing and getting louder, and it's more and more fun with every break we come back from. I love it. I am your host, Chris Britton, with the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Coach, thanks for being with us again tonight. We want to thank our sponsors, Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Durbin Auto Parts, Aero Pest Control, and a handful of others as well. You're listening to us live tonight on Dixie Country 100.1, as well as on the internet through Facebook Live, YouTube, all those. Thanks for being a part of the show. Well, Coach, we're going to bring in, we like to bring in one of your assistants every week, talk to them, kind of listen to their minds a little bit. Talk to us about the fellow that you've selected to come be with us tonight.
Well, tonight we'll have Coach Moncrief, who's the offensive coordinator, running backs coach. Glad to have him on staff. He's a property of Prattville.
That's right.
You know, he's from Prattville, played at Prattville through the youth league all the way up. Very knowledgeable young man. Understands the game, work ethic. Second to none, which is one of the things, other than him being a great guy, great father, great husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one of the things that was really a no-brainer as far as him, you know, joining our staff and coming along. So, you know, the drive that he has, we're glad to have him on board.
That's awesome. Well, Coach Moncrief, with that said, man, you know, what does it mean to be one of the coaches at your alma mater?
It's a big time blessing.
Yeah.
Don't take it for granted. I just want to make sure that, you know, we put the product on the field that what we always have and try and build the culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing, and it's unique with a different set of guys every year.
Right.
And the growth that I've seen from last year to this year.
Sure.
I think we're doing a great job.
Well, now, speaking of last year to this year, your roles changed a little bit about the team. Last year, special teams coordinator, working with some positions. This year, your role has changed a little bit. Tell the Lion Nation a little bit about what you're doing this year.
This year, I'm with the running backs,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to stay at receiver.
Uh-huh.
Being a offense coordinator, I didn't feel like I could see everything.
Uh-huh.
So I moved to the backfield, and I feel like the whole offense truly does run through the running back.
Sure.
From run game to pass protection and everything like that. So, and those guys, they're doing a tremendous job.
Sure.
You got Mario, who's running the ball pretty well, pretty good in pass protection. And you have Donovan Hemi, we call him Hemi, Arrington.
You're talking about the little bitty guy?
Yeah, little bitty guy. He's a worker bee.
Yeah.
And he pushes Mario to the limit every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your coaching resume. Where all have you been before, you know, obviously being here at Prattville? Well, you're a Prattville guy, but being on the staff at Prattville the last couple of years. Where else have you been?
I'm very fortunate to have been in the same place for 6 years.
Okay.
Down at Charles Henderson.
Okay.
I started coaching with Jamie Dubose there.
Right.
Before he left and went to Central Phoenix City.
Mm-hmm.
At Charles Henderson. So I was there as the wide receivers coach for 4 years, and for 2 of those years I was the offensive coordinator there, and then I also was a head coach at the middle school level.
I hear you. All right. You know, fans want to know, you got Derek, DeKendrick, and Quay all on the field at the same time. Who do you want to give the ball to? This is him and his 2 brothers.
DeKendrick.
DeKendrick? Well, you going to get to defer to DeKendrick.
He's just a different animal out there.
I hear you. I mean, I've watched him play football. I've watched him play basketball. There's no ball he's fearless to shoot or catch or carry.
Yeah, you know, Derek has to be running towards the ball to catch it.
Well, but he'll light somebody up, too, though, if he gets the shot.
100%.
Now, what's he doing right now? Is he back up north again?
He's in Canada.
Okay.
He's in Canada. He's leading the league in interceptions. I think he's 3rd in the league for tackles right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going tit for tat, and we talk just about every other night. And he's getting ready to get married, so he's doing
How
great
about
things.
That? Congratulations. And you're just a family full of Lion legends with you and your brothers. But then also Dad's been a part of the at the junior high, coaching down there forever. What's he up to these days? He's over at PCA, isn't he? Oh, the Millser, Stacy Mills played with Derek Moncrief. How about that? All right. He calls me Kentucky. Every time I see him, he's going to call me Kentucky. He makes me smile. So how's your dad doing? What's he up to?
My dad's doing great.
Okay.
He's at PCA.
Right.
He's teaching 8th grade history over there.
Okay.
This will be his 3rd or 4th year there. But they love him. I actually met someone who works with us at the high school, one of our career coaches. And she said her daughter comes home talking about him every day.
How about
so
that?
He's a character. I bet she does.
Yeah. All right. So on the offensive side of the ball, you got all kinds of weapons over there, no doubt. Tell us a little bit about some of the players that you're fortunate enough to work with on that offensive side of the ball this year.
Of course, we were very fortunate to have Cam Shanks back this year. Cam Richardson has really taken off and worked his tail off this offseason.
I'm so proud to see him do. I mean, he is working hard.
He's 100% very much improved from who he was when I met him.
Yeah.
Also, you have a young KJ Blue.
Yeah.
Who is, every time he touches the ball, he's just electric with it. I don't think he has a kickoff return less than 40 yards this year.
Yeah.
Calvin Parker, he's going to hit his stride here soon, I have a feeling. And then we have Myon Callan.
Yeah.
Jack Studdard.
You got
a young.
You already spoke of the running back stable a little bit over there.
Yes, sir. We have a young sniffer, Colin Seegers.
Okay.
I think he's going to be a Division I sniffer, H-back type of guy. So we have some young guys, and we have some young talent that's still trying to gel, starting to glue, and we have pretty much 2 starters from last year.
How about that?
So it's going to take a little time for that, but we're getting there.
That's awesome. Coach, talk to us a little bit about Coach Moncrief and, what he brings to the program, and if you got any fun stories that need to be told about him, please feel free to do that.
Well, he definitely brings an edge.
Yeah.
Definitely brings an edge to the offense. The mentality when they take the field every day, I mean, he's challenging them.
Yeah.
And, if you're going to be prepared to be challenged on Friday, you got to be prepared to be challenged during the week. So
That's right.
You're not going to be surprised on Friday because of how he coaches with an edge, and the staff as well. Leading the offense and the offensive staff, all those guys, man, they understand each other and they gel well as a staff. So we're blessed to be able to have all those guys in the same room that can pick an opponent apart and put us in the best situation possible to be successful offensively. Don't have any. Well, I do have a story.
Hey.
I remember Quay as a player. I mess with him all the time. He'll tell you about how every Monday morning went. We kind of had a script that we ran, and I think they ran the same play around the same time every Monday morning.
Yeah.
And every Monday morning, I think Quay knew he was going to get blindsided by a linebacker, but he still went up to catch the ball
showing up.
until one day he just had enough.
Oh, no.
So,
you want to elaborate some?
Flip it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Coach Clark gave it to me about that. I never did that ever again.
Well, now, all right, so I don't know if you could hear Stacy or Mills are on the air, but he was talking about, I guess you somersaulted into the end zone.
My very first
Coach
varsity
Clark was happy
touchdown
about it?
as a sophomore.
So he was proud of you?
Coach Harris dared me to do it, though.
Uh-oh, there it is.
Cats are getting out of the bag and everything over here. That's crazy. All right. Well, listen, Coach, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Appreciate you, man. Love what you're doing with those young men and developing them. Thanks so much for the investment you're making in Prattville. Well, fans, listen, we got one more segment ahead, but we're going to go to a break in just a few moments. Thanks for tuning in. Those of you who are listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1, thanks for being a part of the show. Also, those of you who are tuning in through the Prattville Live Network, watching us online, be it here on Thursday or later on, it's out there on the YouTube and everywhere to be watched anytime. So thanks for caring enough to listen to the show and check in on us, and love for y'all to be a part of the show. Well, fans, we're going to be right back with a little bit more J.B. Wallace Show right after this break.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
Drive Prattville.
All right, welcome back, Prattville Lions fans, to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're entering into the final segment of tonight's show. We want to tell you thank you so much for being a part of the show, tuning in on Dixie Country 100.1, or those of you watching online. We thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Now, I guess it was announced. Let's touch on this real quick. We had a young man that was supposed to be here, just wasn't able to make it, I don't guess. But the other Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week, Mario Parks, and you alluded to that earlier. Yeah. We'll have to get him on next week. But talk a little bit about that and that award.
Mario, he got it for the Smith Station game.
Right, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yes, sir. 116 yards, I believe, rushing.
The ones that actually counted.
Yeah.
There's several more.
He was well on the way to a 200-yard night.
Yes.
And but runs the ball hard and worked hard this offseason. And, just see him develop as a player, as a running back. And he said he wanted to work on his speed, and he did that in the offseason. He transformed his body to do so. And but it's been paying off for him. He's played well every game.
That's awesome. Yeah, good, and a good young man. He's that guy. He's just so stinking elusive. And I guess because he's a little bit big-ish, he doesn't look like he's as fast as he really is. But, man, people just have a hard time catching him.
Yeah, he's kind of what you call slithery.
Yeah?
He's got great vision, and, he can kind of anticipate, cuts and get up in those creases when they're there. And he makes stuff happen sometimes when there's nothing there.
Uh-huh.
So that's a gift that he has, and he runs well with it. But yeah, he's been very big for us this season.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, let's look at the schedule. Obviously, we've got a ball game tomorrow night. We'll end on that, but let's move past that. We're going to hit the road for a while. Got some region games coming up. Talk about the schedule a little bit moving forward.
Well, after Opelika, we have Stanhope, which is another huge rival. That's going to be a big game as well.
Always, yeah.
Always a big game. And then we have Enterprise on the road, so we have to go to Enterprise. And then we'll come back this way for JD and Lee.
Down at the bowl.
Yes,
or
sir.
One of them at the bowl.
One at the bowl,
yeah.
and one to be here. And then we'll finish the season off with Auburn here and then Central there.
Right.
And then that's the season. So, it's lined up, and we have some very good opponents on the schedule left, so we got to definitely be prepared each week.
No doubt, but I know the expectation always is, hey, let's finish undefeated, from here. Let's go, and I know that's the mindset, the desire. I know you're going to push those guys in that direction. Well, Coach, specifically, let's talk a little bit about tomorrow night's game. First of all, health-wise, we're in pretty good shape on our side of the ball.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have everybody here. Offensively, defensively, we're healthy. Other than the little nicks and bruises that everybody has, we're healthy and ready to go. I want to thank Coach Cleveland and Coach Hanson, our athletic training staff, man, for when we do get nicked and bruised and all that kind of stuff, they get our guys ready to play. That's the focal point. We're going to make sure they're good to go, and then they do the things necessary to get them ready to play.
That's right. And so then once we get on the field tomorrow night, what type of play are we looking at, for Opelika? What style of offense do they bring?
Well, Opelika has transformed a little bit from the previous years. They used to be a wing T type of team, and then they were I formation for years, and now they're spread. But, man, one thing about it, that they definitely didn't finesse up front. They didn't go finesse.
They go work.
They're aggressive up front. So their offensive line has always been one that's be aggressive, and so we definitely got a hands full up front with our defensive line. They've also been always known to have speed. At receiver, at running back, in the secondary, at linebacker. They're going to have pure speed, and you see it on film. So we got our hands full on both sides of the ball. We definitely can't let them get explosive plays and interceptions and things like that on us offensively. We got to be able to control the ball and take calculated opportunities to get the ball in the end zone.
I got you. So who are some standout? What are some numbers, some guys to watch for tomorrow night?
Well, definitely the quarterback. He delivers. He delivers. A very good ball player. I think he's faster than you would believe. I've seen him run a little bit, and he can run a little bit. Their running backs, they have a stable of running backs, and they always do. But at receiver, they have a number 23, and I think he's going to play some running back as well. He can stretch the field. He makes a play on the ball. They have another receiver, number 3. That's a very good athlete. He can play as well. Defensively, they have a defensive end, number 8, that he's long and rangy. And, if you're going to read him, sometimes it looks like it's there, but it's not because he's so long. He can take that away from you. They have a very strong linebacking core. Number 7, he's probably one of the better ones we've seen all year. And number 22, And at cornerback, I mean, they're solid across the board in the secondary. I mean, they got guys that can run, hit, and make stuff happen in the secondary.
That's awesome, and thank you for the insight in tomorrow night's game. It speaks to the importance of that 12th man. What does it mean to have a big home side crowd there tomorrow night to watch the Opelika Bulldogs take on the Prattville Lions?
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, just having that home crowd there, and you know, when they have the ball, we need it noisy, we need it loud.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's something that we work on. Coach Moncrief does every week. You know, he puts our offense in a situation where we play loud crowd noise in the indoor, and then they run through the script. And the only way you can communicate is through hand signals and things like that. So we definitely want to put them in a hostile situation. So where if they hadn't worked it like we have, we should be able to benefit from that. And I tell you, Mr. King, with the band, man, you would not understand how many timeouts that he makes the other team burn because they're playing loud when they have the ball and things like that, or a miscommunication and snap might be a bad snap. So, you know, this is truly, I guess you can say, a family affair. Everybody's involved in it. You know, it takes everybody for us to get it done.
Is there pep rally tomorrow morning?
It's going to be a line walk tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Tomorrow evening.
And then, I don't know, or Sam, if you guys know, is there I know there's a theme each week for the student section. Do you know what tomorrow's is? I don't know.
It was originally Greek.
Oh, is it originally Greek? Did that get vetoed?
I think they're
still. Oh, wait, no. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The student section will be rowdy.
They will be. They will be. They are consistently rowdy.
And is that important to the guys?
Yes, sir, it is. I mean, I know when we get there, most of them are already there, and they're rocking and rolling at that point.
All right, briefly, and this is talking about fans, but the end of the game, no matter what happens after the game.
We go in front of the band and we play our alma mater. And,
special time.
Yes, sir. We definitely pay respect.
I mean, being a former
that.
player, student yourself, that's got to be a cool thing.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So, fans, if you're there tomorrow night, stick around a little bit. Well, we just got a few seconds left of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Coach, thanks again for being a part of the show. I mean, it's named after. We couldn't do it without you, man. So,
yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being here. Fans, thanks for tuning in on the on Dixie Country 100.1 or also on the Prattville Live Network. Those of you who stick around, you're going to be listening to the Hey Coach Show right after this. Thanks for being a part of the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll see you next time.